Hello class, this is chapter 6-8, part 1 of simple and compound interest. Today we will be dealing with simple interest. The formula is very important to know and learn. I equals PRT. I stands for the interest. This is the money that is paid for the use of the money. If, for example, I would take out a loan, the bank is going to charge me, or the credit union is going to charge me a percentage of that money as the charge for using it, because I have use of the money, so I have to pay back a little more than what I borrowed, because I'm telling them, hey, I appreciate being able to use the money. On the other hand, if I am saving money, interest is the amount of money the bank pays me so that it can use my money, because it will use my money to maybe give somebody else a loan. So that is what the I stands for, interest. The P stands for principal, and in this case it does not mean the principal of our school. It means the money that is deposited into the savings account or borrowed in the loan. The R stands for interest rate. It is the percent. It will be used as a decimal or fraction, which should sound very familiar to you, since for solving problems with equations, we use percent as a decimal or fraction times a whole equals a part. The T from the formula for simple interest stands for time. And notice that it says that it has to be in years. And here's where you've got to be careful, because sometimes they might try to fool you a little bit, and they'll tell you 6 months. Well, 6 months is 0.5 of a year. Sometimes they might even tell you 18 months. 18 months is 1.5 years. So you've got to be thinking. You can't just follow a pattern and say, oh, I'll plug this number here and that number there, and okay, maybe this one goes here. You really have to ask yourself where your numbers go, and that's why we use the formula to help us. The first thing we're going to do in example A is we are going to write down the formula. And as I just said, we use the formula to help us. We do not know the interest because that's what we're being asked to calculate. So I is my variable. The P stands for the principal. How much money are they taking out on the loan or putting into the account? $225. The R stands for the rate, the percentage. Remember, used as a decimal or fraction. In this case, it's not going to be 6.5, it's going to be 0.065. Remember that when we have the percent and we go to the decimal, we shift our decimal point 2 places to the left. The T stands for time, and it has to be in years. That would be 2. When we utilize our calculator, although if you can take the 225 times 2 to get 450 and put 450 times 0.065, that's really the best, because the least buttons you have to press on a calculator, the better it is. We should get $29.25. At this point, I would like for you to please hit pause and try sample B on your own. And please, please hit pause and do the problem. Remember, you're not doing this to learn how to copy. You're learning this to learn how to do it. I hope you did well and that you got the right answer of $585. The second part of our lesson is an extension of the interest, because sometimes they'll be interested in the final balance. The final balance, you'll note, is to add the simple interest to the principal. In other words, I plus P. We're going to calculate the I, the interest, and then add it back to our principal. So these are really two-step problems. The one part of the problem is to find the interest, and the other part of the problem is to find the balance. So we're going to take I equals PRT. Now we use our formula to help us analyze the problem. We know we need to find the interest, so I has to be the variable. The P here is the amount of money that's put into the account or taken out as a loan, but let's say it's an account, and that's the 120. Remember that R stands for the percent, but again, we have to use it as a decimal or fraction. T stands for time, but it has to be in years, and our problem has 3 years. When we put that into a calculator and input, we will get an output. Isn't very much, is it? $18. Now, we want to find that final balance, so we have to take I plus P. So we're going to take 120 plus 18. Hopefully you don't need a calculator to do the addition. 0 and 8 is 8, 2 and 1 is 3, and 1 and 0 is 1. Please note that I have dollar signs because I need to have labels showing that I'm aware and that the person who's looking at this has to be aware that I'm dealing with money. You know what I'm going to say, right? Press pause. Do the problem yourself. Again, you're not here to learn to copy. You're here to learn to do the work. And I hope you've gotten the right answer of interest of $164 and a final balance of $369. That concludes part 1 of chapter 6-8 lesson. And please reply to me with Go Raiders!